YouTube, back at it again with another documentary, folks. All my documentary people on the channel, welcome. We are here. I don't know if we're in any specific country, but we're here to learn about the Albanian Mafia, all right? He had an AK in the description. I had to see what it's talking about, okay? Be sure to tap them links down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This is how the Albanian Mafia took over Europe, bro, all right? We finna see what's going on.
Of Antwerp were quiet that night.
Shout out to
the city, home to one
Holland
of Europe's
Crime
busiest
Boulevard, man.
ports,
Reacting
had
to one of
long
his
been a
shits again.
getaway for smuggled goods,
Right.
both legal and illegal. But in the early hours of the morning, that silence was shattered. A man lay down in a pool of blood.
Damn.
His body slumped against the cold pavement. 2 bullets to the head. A textbook execution.
Oh my God.
His name was Krešnik Berisha, a known enforcer for the Albanian Mafia. His murder wasn't random. It was a message. Investigators quickly realized what they were dealing with. This wasn't just a drug-related killing, it was part of something much bigger. For years, the Albanian Mafia had been expanding its influence across Europe's drug trade. They weren't just importing cocaine, they were controlling the entire market. Unlike other criminal organizations, they had a unique advantage: absolute loyalty, unmatched violence, and direct access to the world's top cocaine suppliers. Krešnik's death was a warning to those who dared to challenge that power, and what investigators would soon uncover was far more terrifying than what they had imagined. The Albanian Mafia wasn't just a player in Europe's cocaine trade, they owned it. To understand how the Albanians came to dominate Europe's cocaine supply, you had to go back into the 1990s, to the collapse of communist Albania. For decades, Albania had been one of the most isolated countries in the world, ruled by a brutal dictatorship. But when the regime fell, the country descended into chaos. Borders opened, law enforcement crumbled, and suddenly tens of thousands of Albanians fled the country, searching for a new life in Western Europe. Many found work in Italy, Switzerland, and the UK, but some saw another opportunity: organized crime. At first, the Albanians worked for the Italian and Turkish mafia, serving as foot soldiers, enforcers, and bodyguards. But Albanians were different from other criminal groups. Their unique clan-based structure, known as Besa, was built on absolute loyalty, making them one of the most disciplined and ruthless organizations in Europe. Within just a few years, the Albanians had moved from being enforcers to being the ones giving orders. By the early 2000s, they'd taken over the heroin trade in Europe, controlling supply routes from Afghanistan through Turkey and the Balkans. But heroin was just the beginning. The real money was in cocaine, and the Albanian Mafia had bigger ambitions. In the late 2000s, a shift took place in Europe's drug market. The Italian, Serbian, and Turkish crime syndicates who'd once controlled cocaine distribution were losing their grip. The Colombian and Brazilian cartels were looking for more reliable European partners, ones who could move large quantities of cocaine without interference. That's when the Albanians made their move. Unlike other European gangs who relied on middlemen to buy cocaine, the Albanians negotiated directly with the cartels. They built personal relationships with suppliers in South America, ensuring a steady and uninterrupted flow of drugs. This gave them 2 key advantages. They got cocaine cheaper, cutting out brokers and increasing their profit margins, and they controlled distribution, deciding who got access to the product and what price. With ports like Antwerp, Rotterdam, and Valencia as their entry points, the Albanian Mafia quickly became Europe's top cocaine supplier, and they ran their operations with brutal efficiency. Unlike the Italian or Russian mafias, who operated through complex hierarchies, the Albanians structured their business like a network of close-knit family clans. Each clan controlled a specific region or trade route, and information was kept strictly within the group. This made them almost impossible to infiltrate. Law enforcement agencies struggled to gather intelligence. Informants were rare, and when they did exist, they often disappeared before they could testify. By 2015, the Albanians weren't just smuggling cocaine into Europe, they were dictating the entire market, and as their influence grew, so did the violence. By the late 2010s, the Albanian Mafia was no longer just another player in the European drug trade. They were the dominant force. Their influence stretched across London, Milan, Madrid, and Amsterdam, where they controlled wholesale cocaine distribution. But unlike other criminal groups, the Albanians didn't just move in and set up operations. They took over with violence. Their strategy was quite simple: eliminate the competition. Wherever they expanded, their rivals quickly disappeared. Some were gunned down in broad daylight.
Boy, so you mean to tell me these niggas was taking over areas and just offing the competition? No questions asked. They just pulling out guns and offing these niggas. Damn, boy.
Others were found tortured and executed.
Oh my
A clear
Lord.
message to anyone who thought about standing in their way. The Albanian Mafia's strength came from its structure. Family-based criminal clans, bound by Besa, a centuries-old code of loyalty and honor. In this world, betrayal was punished by death.
Damn.
Police across Europe began noticing a pattern. Rivals who refused to work with Albanian traffickers often ended up dead. Low-level dealers who were caught up never turned informant because they knew their families would pay the price. Even within prison walls, Albanians maintained complete control, ensuring their network operated without disruption. In Spain, authorities observed that Albanian gangs had
These
completely
niggas running they shit different. They running they shit very different, boy. Niggas on some KGB Russian shit right now, boy. They terrorizing folk. Niggas' family getting threatened. Nigga, what is going on, boy?
taken over the cocaine trade, pushing out the Italian and Moroccan mafias. In Germany and Switzerland, law enforcement found that Albanians controlled not just distribution, but also logistics, trucking routes, safe houses, and money laundering channels.
Oh, these niggas on
They
some
weren't just
Jeff
dealing
Bezos
cocaine, they were running the entire supply chain, and their expansion was far from over. European police forces were well aware of the problem.
This is the one who helps everyone stay safe. An unsung hero in a
But stopping the Albanian Mafia was another challenge entirely. Unlike the Italians, Russians, or Colombians, the Albanians didn't operate in a traditional hierarchy. They were structured as independent family units, making it nearly impossible for authorities to infiltrate their ranks. Whenever law enforcement made mass arrests, it barely made a dent in their operations. The cocaine kept flowing, and new leaders rose to replace those who were caught.
Wow.
In 2021, Europol launched Operation Los Blancos, a massive crackdown targeting Albanian-led cocaine networks across Europe. The operation led to hundreds of arrests and the seizure of tons of cocaine worth billions of euros. But even after the busts, authorities saw no decrease in drug availability. The cocaine market remained as strong as ever, proving that even the largest police operations could barely scratch the surface. Why was it so hard to stop them?
Where y'all think they be putting all that crack at? I think the police be having it in a holding cell and they just be holding on to the cocaine. So why would they hold on to the cocaine? What are you gonna do with that? It's just gonna sit there forever? Telling you, they be getting high. That's what it is. They be getting high. I be getting high too. I ain't gonna
Corruption.
lie. Not on crack.
In countries
though. I'm
like
saying
Belgium
if they
and the
had, like,
Netherlands,
weed and shit, I'd be
Spain,
taking that.
Albanian traffickers had bribed customs officials and port workers, ensuring safe passage for drug shipments. Extreme secrecy. Unlike other mafias, Albanian crime clans only operated within their ethnic networks, making it impossible for undercover agents to infiltrate.
Wow.
Unlimited supply. With direct connections to Colombian
That's
and
smart as
Brazilian
hell.
cartels, they had a steady flow of cocaine regardless of how many shipments were seized. Every time authorities seized a major shipment, another one immediately replaced it. Every time a drug boss was arrested, a new one took over. To police, it felt like an endless battle, one they were losing. Despite record drug busts and police crackdowns, the Albanian Mafia remains stronger than ever. In 2023, European officials admitted that the cocaine trade was at an all-time high, flooding markets from London to Paris to Berlin. Authorities were catching more traffickers, but the overall supply was not slowing down. In fact, prices were dropping, a clear sign that there was more cocaine available than ever before. What does this mean for Europe? If the Albanian Mafia is too deeply embedded in the system, can it ever be stopped? Governments are increasing efforts
I
to
just gonna have
track
to bring
money
out that
laundering
Rico, I ain't
networks,
gonna lie.
tighten
That's how
border
you stop
controls,
that shit.
and crack down on
Bring the
corruption.
FBI into it. I bet you that. Man, listen, bro. Y'all bring the FBI into anything, they're gonna get that shit done, okay? It's over. 99% conviction rate. It don't matter, bro. Just bring in the FBI. They will get it done. They will handle it. That's why I said, if one of you niggas ever take my chain, I'm calling the feds. And you're going to jail, nigga. That ass. I don't care, nigga. Fuck is niggas talking about? Niggas in the comment section. Bruh, that's snitching. Yeah, and you gonna be snitching in jail. Nigga. The fuck? And I'm gonna have my chain and I'm gonna be cooling while you in jail. Nigga. So how about that? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Real shit though.
Many law enforcement believe that as long as demand for cocaine remains high, the supply will never stop. And as long as the Albanian Mafia controls that supply, they will remain one of the most powerful criminal organizations in Europe. The war on cocaine is far from over, but right now, it seems like the Albanians are winning. The Albanian Mafia had already established itself as the dominant force in Europe's cocaine trade, but their ambitions didn't stop there. With every year that passed, their operations became more sophisticated, more secure, and more untouchable. For law enforcement, it was a game of whack-a-mole. Each time a high-ranking trafficker was taken down, another emerged to take his place.
Yeah, bro,
The structure of the Albanian Mafia made them incredibly resilient.
Wow.
Unlike traditional crime syndicates, they did not rely on one central figure. Instead, they operated as a web of independent clans, bound together by blood, trust, and an unwavering code of silence.
Hell yeah.
But cocaine wasn't their only business. Their criminal portfolio expanded into human trafficking, weapon smuggling, and cybercrime. Albanian-run smuggling routes brought thousands of
No way I was snatching folks. What the hell?
undocumented migrants into Europe, generating billions in illegal profits. Weapons from the Balkan black market were being funneled into conflict zones, terrorist organizations, and local crime groups. And as digital transactions became the norm, Albanian syndicates exploited cryptocurrencies and dark web markets to launder their drug money. The traditional
Wow.
methods of fighting crime, undercover agents, mass arrests, and financial investigations were failing. This was a new kind of mafia, operating at a level that few governments were
And Doug.
You'll be back!
prepared for. And Europe wasn't ready for what was coming next. As the Albanian Mafia's power grew, it became clear that their success wasn't just about drugs, money, or violence. They had something even more valuable: protection from the inside. Across Europe, corruption had become one of the greatest obstacles in the fight against organized crime. Criminal investigations revealed that high-ranking police officers, judges, and politicians had been bribed to protect key mafia figures. In some cases, traffickers who were arrested one day walked free the next. Their charges mysteriously dropped or lost in bureaucratic delays. In Belgium, a port worker caught smuggling over 100 kilos of cocaine was released on bail, and then vanished without a trace. In Spain, a special police unit investigating Albanian drug routes was suddenly disbanded with no explanation. And in Italy, prosecutors uncovered evidence that wanted mafia bosses had been quietly granted legal residency permits, allowing them to operate freely within the EU.
Oh,
it became
they
clear
got niggas in the inside working for them. They got niggas in the inside working for them. They over here getting they charges lifted. Nigga, they getting approved for loans for houses and shit. What the fuck? I'm telling you, it's that when you got mafia in the name, I'm telling you, it's crime families. It's a different game, bro. It's not gangs. It's not none of that shit. These niggas got bread. Niggas getting money moved. Thousands of drugs is getting pumped into the country, nigga. Like, bro, I'm telling you,
corruption
bro.
wasn't just a side effect
It's
of the
different
Albanian
with these
Mafia's
niggas, bro.
rise, it was the foundation of their empire. Despite record-breaking drug seizures, increasing gang violence, and a growing list of unresolved murders, the Albanian Mafia remained stronger than ever. The cocaine trade in Europe had reached an all-time high, flooding the streets from London to Berlin. Authorities were catching more traffickers, but the flow of cocaine never slowed down. In fact, it was cheaper than ever, a clear sign that there was more supply than demand. Governments were trying to hit back harder. Banks had started monitoring suspicious transactions, hoping to track the movement of drug money. Europol had launched coordinated task forces across multiple countries, targeting Albanian-run smuggling networks. Police agencies were cracking down on cryptocurrency laundering, one of the key tools modern traffickers use to move their billions. But the reality was clear. The demand for cocaine in Europe wasn't going away, and as long as there was demand, there would always be a supply. The Albanian Mafia doesn't just survive, it adapts. Every new law, every police crackdown, every high-profile arrest, they find a way around it. If European governments don't completely rethink their approach, they may soon face a dangerous new reality. A future where the Albanian Mafia isn't just a criminal empire, it's the most powerful force in Europe's underworld. And by the time authorities catch up, it might already be too late.
Hey, go ahead. What y'all think about that? Y'all think they're gonna catch these niggas? I think so, bro. All you gotta do is just get the feds, bro. I already told y'all what y'all need to do. You just gotta get the FBI, bro. That's it. Gotta get the FBI, bro. They will figure it out. 99% conviction rate, bro. I'm telling you. They will figure it out. Niggas like, bro, you can't get a double agent in there. Bro, watch them, bro. They're gonna get an Albanian agent and send that nigga in there to fuck up the whole operation, bro. I'm telling you, bro. They will find a way. It's the feds, okay? Be sure to tap them links down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, all right? Follow me on IG, all that good stuff. Hey, man, we got more documentaries down below. 90 plus videos in the playlist, all right? So go crazy. Yeah, binge watch that shit. Yeah, man, do what you got to do. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, until next time, it's your boy.